Thanks for joining us for the Cattleman's Corner. I'll be back with the day's guest right after this.
One of the easiest ways to keep your website up to date is to embed your social media feed right into your website. We can help you do this. HaleMultimedia.com. And now here's Nelseena with Oklahoma farmer rancher Lance Cochran.
The drought has moved south. Last year it was up north in Montana, and now this year they said Oklahoma was as dry as it's been since they've been keeping records. How has that affected the sale barn?
We saw just dramatic numbers of cattle coming to town that hadn't seen the auction barn this early in previous years that I can ever remember. The little calves started coming to town. Lots of our customers that had weaned their calves previously didn't wean them, just didn't have the resources, didn't have the water, didn't have the feed. In fact, didn't have the money to buy the hay or buy the feed, didn't want to mess with it. The water situation is very critical right now around this part of the country. They did have feed, they didn't have water. That's taken its toll on a lot of farmers and ranchers in this part of the country. Back in 2014, we had a drought in 2012, and in 2014 we some levels in the cattle industry we'd never seen before. We saw bred cows, 3,000, 3,500. We saw pairs in the $4,000 range. That wasn't the exception. I mean, that was the norm. We saw all across the Southern Plains region, the Midwest, $3,500 to $4,500 pairs. I know I'm not going to fall into that trap again of buying some of those really expensive cows, and then a year later they're worth a third or a half of what they were when I bought them.
That's going to do it for today's program. And remember, there's more content on the web, including longer interviews, at cattleman'scorner.com. Thanks again for listening, and may God bless. I'm Brian Hale.